Kia ora, and welcome to Beer Club, where every week we discover a new beer and the story behind it. This, of course, is Beer Jerk. I'm Luke, and this week we are drinking a beer from Volstead in Christchurch, Gold Pan Tea. And we've been doing this for ages, well over 11 years, so a different beer every single week. And we've drank some very, very good beers over the years. And not that many IPAs relative to the ratio at which IPAs get released in the country, because IPAs are they're the reason that we're all into this, I suppose. The whole craft beer revolution was definitely spearheaded by the American West Coast IPAs. And they are the most popular beer style. It's just what all of us absolutely love drinking. It's what gets everyone really, just enthusiastic and excited. Just the glory of hops is absolutely magnificent. And that is also the reason why I don't include too many in the Beer Club boxes, because Beer Jerk is all about discovery. So I love sharing with you a Flanders Red and a Kolsch and all this world of different beer styles and different things out there. But I also love throwing a few IPAs in there, especially when they're really fucking good ones. So this is a really fucking good West Coast IPA from Volstead, who are all about IPAs. It's a very, very IPA-driven brewery. They're just passionate about the hops. But Volstead wasn't always a brewery. It started out as a bar in the aftermath of the earthquakes in Christchurch in 2011. And it quickly just became a place that was really known for always having a really fantastic selection of beers. They've got like probably 25 taps there. And it's just a really cozy, dark, snug sort of place. The sofas. It's a really cool spot. And quickly became the go-to place to discover really cool beers from independent brewers around the country. And years after that, the opportunity arose to purchase the brew kit that was set up in the space next door to them, which was where Eagle Brewing were located, before they crowdfunded and raised tons and tons of money and opened their swanky new brewery at Kveik, I think it's pronounced, on the side of the river, which very quickly went down in flames when the owner of Eagle made various racist remarks online and doubled down. So they rebranded to Five Peaks, and then it's been sold a couple of times, and it's now, I think, Two Thumb now own that space. But anyway, the kit that Volstead took over, they immediately got to work with brewing some really good beers. So it was the exceptionally talented brewer Mike Cheer that worked to get things set up there and come up with the standard operating procedures and all that exciting stuff, because brewing is manufacturing and it's cleaning and it's systems and operations, and as much as people like myself very, very much at the forefront of this way of thinking, I like making beer because it's about the flavour and discovery and trying new things and the different kinds of ingredients you can use. But to make good beer, you need to start with a very, very good, rigid set of rules and systems and best practices. So Mike Cheer worked to get that set up and work on the initial recipes. It was really interesting chatting to him about the house yeast that they developed there, and that was really working with the relatively newly popularised Norwegian yeast styles, the Kveik yeast styles. That have so much flexibility when you're brewing. They can work at different temperatures and are just so efficient, and the different kinds of Kveik can really just bring out and elevate the different flavours in your beer. So that's a chat for another day, chat about Kveik yeast. And the owner and founder of Volstead is Jason Ray, who is a barrister, I believe. So legal background, possibly why he was inspired to call the brewery Volstead as a bit of a joke, a nod to Andrew Volstead, who, as it says in the can, was the eminent American politician in the I think around 1918 or something, who brought about Prohibition in the country for years and years, which obviously didn't go that well. So I suppose in a similar way to White House magazine in England, being the porno mag that was named after Mary Whitehouse, who was the very active campaigner against lewd materials and pornography. We've got Volstead named for a guy that absolutely hated the idea of alcohol. Gold Pan Tea, I don't know where that name comes from. It's a West Coast IPA. It is packed with hops, so it's got your... It's always kind of hard to explain the different types of body in a West Coast IPA. So we talk about old school, but what is old school? You know, we talk about 1998 and Stone and Deschutes and AleSmith, or we're talking about old school as in, you know, what was happening at English real ale breweries in the 90s and 80s, or, you know, we can go back a century or so and talk about IPAs, which were a very, very different creature. So kind of old school as in it's got a solid bit of malt backbone to it. There's really something for the hops to sit on. It's got a little bit of chewiness to it. It's got there is a bit of kind of toffee sweetness, a bit of like crystal malt in there I'm tasting crystal malt. I'm not sure what the actual recipe is, which a lot of drinkers these days aren't that into. I know a lot of people much prefer very, very lean IPAs, these sort of cold IPAs and these like ultra dry IPAs that don't really have much malt character, and it's all just about the hops floating on top. But yeah, this has definitely got the malty backbone, which I am loving. And the hops, it's Nelson Sauvin, so that lovely gooseberry, white wine, sort of vinous character to it. And there is, I think I read it was mosaic in it. It tastes like mosaic, so I'm sure it is. Which is, I think I said a few weeks ago about a beer that had mosaic. People talk about blueberry, and it's definitely one of those things where the mind makes the connections once people seed some ideas. So yeah, I kind of can get some blueberry skin, like blueberry sort of pudding notes in here, but maybe that's just completely been placed into my brain by reading somewhere that mosaic has notes of blueberry, but it does have notes of pineapple, kind of citrusiness, but overall just hoppy. It is sort of the definition of what just lovely, delicious hops taste like. It's a really well put together IPA. So yeah, as I was saying at the start, we don't have many IPAs in our beer club boxes. So when I do choose them, they are very, very good ones. Like really, fresh and great examples of whatever variety of IPA. And also, if you are a big IPA fan, you should probably sign up to our Fresh IPA box. So that's a subscription that we've been doing for years now, but I don't really talk about it ever. So we've got a surprisingly small amount of people sign up to it. So that is a monthly subscription, and every month you get a box of fantastic IPAs that have all been packaged within the last month. So that is obviously a problem often when trying to buy hoppy beers, that beers often they're stored at ambient temperature rather than refrigerated, and they could be old. So when you have a lot of hops in a beer, they are very delicate and they are very prone to heat specifically. So all this lovely hoppy character absolutely does just fall out of these beers after a surprisingly small amount of months, and especially when they're not refrigerated. So of course, the place where almost everyone buys the beers, the supermarkets, as much as you might pick it off a shelf in the chiller, they're not storing their beer in huge refrigerators and paying that massive cost. So that's cool to have our Fresh IPA subscription. And of course, everything here at Beer Jet Towers is obviously stored in our massive chiller. One other big thing to mention is Volstead is for sale. So Jason's looking to wrap things up. He's done great things over the last 15 years, and it's a brewery that has got a great reputation, distribution. It is the bar that is being sold as well as the brewery. So I know there's a few breweries on the market at the moment, so if anyone is looking to get into this business, you've kind of got a lot of options, but if you're around Canterbury and looking at taking over a great brand brewery, good kit, good outlet with a bar, then definitely take a look at Volstead. I'm not taking a commission. It's just I think it's a really good system opportunity for somebody out there. All right, I'm going to get things wrapped up. Cheers to Volstead for making fantastic IPAs. I don't know what the future's going to be for Volstead. I hope it's going to be taken over by somebody that's just as passionate as the current team and continues cranking out lots of fantastic beers, and especially India Pale Ales. So cheers to the future, cheers to IPAs, and thank you for joining us for yet another Beer of the Week.